Good morning, baseball fans, and welcome back to Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. Do not be fooled by the fancy name. It's just me and some friends talking about baseball cards. No friends today, except the cards themselves, because today is my third SGC reveal. This beautiful box arrived 2 days ago. I mailed out a 21 card SGC sub on December 4th. I believe it was logged in about the 9th or so as received. Took a few days to get grading going. Grading went, because of the holidays, it didn't get to me until the 26th. So 22 days door to door with the holidays in between. Pretty good. So I did, as I normally do, a little bit of a prediction of what the grades may be. I'm not going to show that much on the screen because in my prior reveals, your comments have been more cards, less paper. So going to do that now. So 21 cards. Most of these cards, not most, but many of these cards came from a variety of different sources of shows. There were some cards that I got in set breaks. There were some cards that I submitted myself through my raw cards that I had in my collection. A couple of things, a couple of different shows. So we'll go over them. Let's show the cards. Here's the box. Already undid this seal a little bit, so you don't have to watch me do the seal. So that's that. The box itself is certainly recyclable. There's some materials. And here are the cards. Put together with these great bands, rubber bands that you can recycle. I have tons of these all over the place these days. The black rubber bands. So first card up is Reholder. This is the 1956 Roy Campanella. I had it in an old SGC label, the green label, and see now it's in the new fancy label. It was a 5, then it's a 5 again. Pretty fairly graded. Fits in my 1956 Topps complete set, and also fits in with my Brooklyn collection, which is up over there. This card is a crossover. I hit this in a Vintage Breaks. It was in an ISA holder as an ISA 5.5. It crossed over nicely to an SGC 5. This is the 1968 Manager's Dream with Hall of Famers Tony Oliva and Roberto Clemente. I do have a 3.5 SGC CSG card of this that I'm trying to sell, which is unfortunately not moving. I think this is a fantastic card. But, okay, so this is also a crossover. This was 1969 Brooks Robinson. This came in an ISA 6.5, crossed over to a SGC 6, obviously. This card's already sold, so going to have to hold that one out for the person whose card it is. I got this card at the Philly show in October. No, not October. When was it? It was early December. From a fantastic old-time vintage dealer. Bill Chappell is his name. He's at all the East and like I think he's from Indiana maybe, but he's had a lot of the East Coast shows, and he's got terrific old vintage cards, and these came from boxes as raw cards. I don't know what I paid for this, but it was probably like $10. It's Frank McCormick, and it's the 1940. I'm sorry, it's the 1939 play ball. Frank McCormick won the 1940 MVP. And he is on the 1948 Braves team that I'm going to be doing my next video on. Next card is a card that I bought also at the Philly show. Bought this raw, obviously. SGC 5. Phil Macy was the catcher for the 1948 Braves. He debuted in the major leagues in 1939, but this 1949 Bowman card is, in fact, his rookie card. So it takes him 10 years to get a rookie card back then. Another 39 play ball. I picked this one up again from Mr. Chappell. This is Bob Johnson. We'll see his card later on. I got a 41 also. I got it from a different source. I bought this raw for about $6, and now it's in a 3.5 holder. Beautiful card. Great underrated player. This is the 40 play ball McCormick. Frank Buck McCormick. This is an MVP card. He won the MVP in 1940. This is the play ball set, and it also Got a nice 5. Also brought this from Mr. Chappell, and crossed over nicely from raw to graded. So this is a 1934 to 36 batter up card. If you recall, it's Tony Cuccinello. If you recall my video of my grandfather's spring training photos from 1942, Cuccinello's in 2 of those photos, and I bemused the fact that I didn't have a Cuccinello card in my collection then, and decided to go get one. So this actually is my only batter up card too, so it fits into 2 different segments of my PC, getting Mr. Cuccinello and also getting another card from another set that I didn't have any cards from. So this card is a 1. It was a 1 all the way, but it is authentic, of course. It is the 1960 Bell brand Sandy Koufax. This is a rare food issue from local food issue from LA, and nice back on the card too, with Dodgers 1960 home schedule on it. So Koufax, this card will become obviously part of my Koufax collection, which you can see over over here. Yeah, over there. Anyway, so I got this at the Hofstra Show in October. The my friend Brett, who is very, very good at shows, going through boxes and finding like these great, just total rare things, helped me go through the box of a dealer with his son, and they were moving a lot of material, and this was in the box. I think I paid $25 for about 5 or 6 different cards, all of which I've moved, for more than that. But this one, I knew it was rare right off the bat. I knew it was going to be a 1, but still in this condition, I'd say this is probably a $50 card. Nice show pickup. These next 2 cards are from the 1954 set break that was done by Vintage Breaks, I don't know, a couple months ago. And it's Rizzuto and Early Win. This Rizzuto card, I'm sorry, that's Win. Here's Rizzuto. This Rizzuto card I had in a PSA 4, and I compared this card, the raw, to the PSA 4 that I had, and I'm like, this is much better. This is going to go at like a 4 or a 5. But what I didn't take into account is that there's actually a wax stain up here, which brought it down to the 3. A little disappointed, but the card itself looks way better than the 4 that I sold. So I'm going to stick with this in my 54 set build because it presents beautifully from the front. Early Win, I have a PSA 6 of this card already, but this is so sharp that I figured I would get it graded. Thought it was going to be a 6, ended up being a 5, and this actually is already sold. I sold this last night on Twitter. This purchase was from Collector Connection, Scott Russell's auction house. We'll link again in the description down below. Great auction house. Scott's a terrific guy. I see him at shows all the time. And so this card I got, I don't remember, but it was like in the 30s price-wise, and it is super sharp. This is the Carl Erskine from the 1954 Red Heart, a set that I am slowly falling in love with. And because this card is so freaking bright and beautiful, and it's a little bit off center, which is why it's a 6. But I mean, the way it does, this is like, this could be an 8 if it were just a little better centered. Beautiful card. So happy to have it. Fits in with my Brooklyn collection. So the next 3 cards are cards that I had raw in my 1953 Bowman. These were sharper ones that I saw in the binder. Pulled them out because I'm building the graded set. Dale Mitchell got a 5. Chico Carrasquel got a 4. And Don Lenhart got a 5. These were all consistent or a little bit above, actually. The Carrasquel I thought I was going to get a 5 on that too. So nice grades. Continue to build that set. This one I'm going to put in with this. So 1948 Braves had some pitchers that you don't know and you never heard of. One of which was acquired in the midseason. His name is Nelson Potter. Nels Potter. Doesn't have that many baseball cards, and I don't think he has any cards with the Braves. But I got this off of eBay. It's a beautiful double play card from 1941. I didn't expect this high of a grade, though. I thought this was like a 4, and it came back as a 6. Nels Potter, of course, pitched for the Philadelphia A's. He also pitched for the Browns, but then he ended up with the Braves at the end of the 40s. So I'm going to keep this card in the collection, but it's beautiful. Also, Benny McCoy has a really big story that could be its own YouTube episode. But, love these cards. This is also Nelson Potter. This is the Propagandist Montiel, the Cuban issue from 1946-47. It's a 1 because almost all of these cards are 1s. And also, it's really badly off-centered in the back. It's miscut pretty much, as you can see. There's some other writing here. But came back as a 1 instead of an A, which I was happy with. Couple of Yankees from the 1939 Play Ball set. These graded about what I expected. Let me see. I had 3.4 or 3.4 for both of them. So actually, this one is a little higher than I expected. Tommy Henrich, all-star outfielder, Yankees legend, and this is, I believe, his rookie card. I have to check, but it's a 1939 Play Ball. Beautiful, a little bit off-center. Got this from Collector Connection. Very happy with the results on that. This is about what I expected. This is Charlie Keller, also an outfielder for the Yankees, also an all-star. King Kong Keller, I believe his nickname was. Power hitter who had some fantastic years for the Yankees in the 40s and probably had about a half a dozen rings. Again, 1939 Play Ball, beautiful card, a little bit off-center. 4 is probably a fair grade on that. So 2 left. This is Bob Johnson again. Indian Bob Johnson. The nature of the nickname is definitely something from the era. But Bob Johnson was a fantastic player for the mostly for the Philadelphia A's. He debuted at a high age of like 26 or 27, and put together 10 really, really solid years. Should get more consideration. But at this point, just happy to have this beautiful 41 Play Ball. I thought this card, because of the fact that it's actually pretty well centered. The corners are okay. There's nothing on the back at all, and I thought it presented better. I actually have this down for possibly going as high as a 5. So I didn't anticipate this 3. But looking at it, I'm thinking that it's probably some print defects / surface issues that pulled the grade down. But I think this presents much better than a 3. Still, it's going to be a PC card. Last card is my only card, believe it or not, in this set. T205. This is George Mullen, who was a workhorse pitcher for the Tigers in the early 1900s. One of those guys that would get like 20 wins and 18 losses kind of guy. I think he won about 220 games and lost about 180. Had one season where he won 29 games, and I looked at Baseball Reference, and he had a couple of chances to get 30 and didn't get it. George Mullen was part of the crew with the Tigers that went to have a exhibition run in Cuba, and there are some Cuban baseball cards of George Mullen that were mentioned on the episode I had with Orlando a couple months ago. This is, as you can see, it's obviously a 4, higher grade than I expected, quite a bit higher actually. I put it down as a 2 because the gold border has obviously some wear on it, but I guess the gold borders on these get so much wear on them that the SGC is a little bit forgiving. So this is going into my collection. It's the only T205 card in my collection, believe it or not. And also because Mr. Mullen is a borderline Hall of Famer, and I'd like to have him in my collection. This is going to stay in the PC. So that's my SGC reveal from this December run, December 4th to the 26th. Pretty good during the holidays. Grades generally are all in the ballpark of what I expected. I had some concerns about Cuccinello being maybe trimmed, but it wasn't. A little bit undergraded. I thought it was a 3 to 4. Everything else is in the same general ballpark of where I expected, except, of course, Mullen taking two grades higher than expected. So that's the SGC reveal. No video this Saturday because of New Year's. I'm going to come back the week after that with my 48 Braves. It's going to be a very special recording because it's dedicated to a special family member who is having a extremely milestone moment in January. So we'll be back with that. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year. See you in January.